Whether you're a believer or not, I think everybody's interested to know what their future holds for them. And guess what? Astrology is not just about future. Astrology is about empowering yourself, coming to know yourself in a different way so that you can design your life to be the happiest life ever, right? The best version of yourself. Join me, Pushpanjali Banerjee and Anirudh Goswami, founders of Astro Judge, on our very first podcast, the Astro Judge podcast. So I heard that you never believed in astrology.
Yeah, that is true. Like, I never started with a lot of belief in astrology. It was always my parents, especially my father, who was seeking astrologers' advice and guidance. But as a youngster, I had a very questioning mind because I really thought, what is this mumbo jumbo that people have about planets and Shani, Rahu? How do they even have any impact on your real life, right?
Yeah, like I remember there was a phase in which you wouldn't come along with me to meet any astrologer because you were like, I don't want to go, I don't want to show my
Yeah,
kundli.
yeah.
So I remember that phase.
Yeah,
Uh,
that phase was also there. You see, because unfortunately, what had happened was that a lot of astrologers come from a very commercial mindset where you are actually bearing your life and your stories to the astrologer, your vulnerable side.
hmm.
And a lot of astrologers have had the nature of trying to be very trusting. When they actually talk about what to do, you
Yeah.
realize they want to either sell you a gemstone
Hmm.
or they want to set you on a path of doing very elaborate pujas and go to
Yeah.
this temple and that temple.
Hmm.
Ultimately, you realize that he's just making money, right? So
Yeah.
that was something which had put me off about astrologers.
Then what changed?
So what changed was an astrologer started talking about my life
Mm-hmm.
and started saying a few things which were very uncanny because I was like, how does this guy know? So he revealed a few traits and characteristics about me on a piece of paper and
Right.
he wrote that even before I started asking questions. So
Hmm.
that really got me intrigued that how come this guy knows so much already? I was going through a lot of problems in career
Yeah.
and relationships, especially. So then after that, I got a little cheesed off. I was like, what is this code language, right? So that's when I went on this quest to learn and understand about the planets and astrology. And I realized that there is an algo of the entire universe. And that's what astrology really is.
Yeah, that it reveals in all these mystical things that happen in our life.
Yeah. And I think because you see this unmistakable connection
Mm-hmm.
between the stars and planets in your daily life,
Hmm.
you have no option but to believe,
Hmm.
that there is something which is beyond what we can see with our
Correct.
eyes, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's what happened even with you because you are not somebody who I know believes in mysticism and the abstract, but you also became somebody who
Oh
started
yeah,
trusting.
I'd say my whole worldview has shifted. Like
Okay.
ever since we've gone on this journey together, and I've had an opportunity to learn from you and the way you interpret things. Yeah, I used to think that the world was pretty black and white before this. That okay, you do this, you study hard, you get marks, you live your life in this fairly linear way. But I've realized of late that there are patterns and things which happen which are far beyond our comprehension. And your role as somebody who should have the right intention and the right visualization for your life can really change things. And what astrology does is it also gives you a peek into your potential and what your actual purpose is, what your inner motivation is, which is really interesting to know because you could be living a completely different life. But then when you read about yourself and what your kundli says about you, it's this whole other person that in your heart you want to be that person, but you didn't think it was possible. So I've realized that life isn't all that linear, and actually there are a lot of different forces at play which actually decide what your future is going to be and what the outcome is going to be.
I think you're right about that. The biggest motivator for me to know about astrology was when I started asking the question why.
Yeah.
Why certain people came into my life, why certain people left my life at a certain point,
Hmm.
and why certain things started happening in my life.
Hmm.
And I think that happens when you're on a path after your school or college, you start your foray into the work world, right?
Yeah.
Like your career.
Hmm.
And you realize that by that time, you're really trying to get to know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And by that time, you would have had maybe one or two relationships as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
And with every relationship and more with every heartbreak,
Yeah.
you start realizing that, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't
Don't
want,
want.
right?
Yeah.
And then you keep seeing that why is the same pattern repeating again and again in my
Yeah.
life? And that happens, right? Patterns repeat. You look back and you realize there was a pattern to my life. Either I was attracting a wrong kind of partner or I was attracting a wrong kind of career. And then you realize that astrology has answers. I think
Correct.
that's what is the most compelling thing about Vedic astrology to me.
Right.
So that I feel is the most fascinating thing about astrology to me.
And that it's not just a tool for future prediction.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
कि एस्ट्रोलॉजर के पास जाओगे तो वो फ्यूचर बताएगा. यू शो योर हैंड और यू शो योर कुंडली एंड ही इज गोना टेल यू कल क्या होगा, परसों क्या होगा, कब प्रमोशन होगी, कब रेज मिलेगा. एंड दैट्स व्हाट पीपल काइंड ऑफ एसोसिएट एस्ट्रोलॉजी विद. सो टेल मी, इज एस्ट्रोलॉजी दैट, और व्हाट डू यू थिंक एस्ट्रोलॉजी इज?
So predicting the future is one part of astrology, but that is a very tiny part of astrology.
Right.
So predicting the future can work in a positive way as well as a negative way. Like to me, when an astrologer would try to predict my future, and this was before I got into astrology myself, it would always put me off because I
Right.
always thought that the astrologer would limit my options. I have sun in the 10th house in my kundli.
Right.
So the astrologer would always say, आपको तो government job बहुत अच्छी मिलेगी या आप judge बन जाओगे.
Yeah.
And you realize that
I remember
those
that.
are the
Judge
traditional,
ban
and you remember for a while, 2-3 astrologers said that,
Yeah.
and everybody in the family was like, "When are you appearing for the judiciary?" And I was like, "I'm not appearing for the judiciary. I don't want to be a judge. It's a different ball game altogether." Like you realize that more than predicting the future, if an astrologer can tell you what are the possibilities in your life,
Correct.
then that makes sure that you have the power in your own life, in your own hands. And I feel that is the bigger purpose of astrology than just simply saying that, okay, आपके साथ ये आज होने वाला है, कल वो होने वाला है. I mean, imagine getting into a movie hall and right at the beginning, in the first scene, they tell you in the entire movie's plot, right?
Shit.
You want to have some surprises in your life.
Somebody did that to me when I
Really?
went to see that movie Talash.
Okay.
Somebody told me Kareena Kapoor bhoot hai, and I was
Yeah.
like, why?
Oh
Why
yeah,
did
somebody
you,
told me
why
also.
did you do that to
Yeah,
me?
yeah. You don't want that,
You
right?
don't want
Like, because
that.
the entire
No.
experience is spoiled. So I think that's why you need to take astrology as a GPS,
Yeah.
as a tool which can guide you that, okay, I want to go from here to there. What are my options, right? And if I take this route, what are the pitfalls I'll have versus this route where it seems like there's no traffic here, but then this is a very longer route, and I
Correct.
don't know, maybe I'll not have an enjoyable journey
Right.
because life is a journey, right? So astrology is a tool to help you enjoy that journey. Unfortunately, it has been reduced to a predictive tool that it's easy for somebody to say the future, but do you think that's the only future you have? Because in my experience, there are multiple parallel futures that every person has. And depending on what steps you take in the present moment, you are activating or opening the path to future A versus future B.
Correct.
And astrology gives you the possibilities.
Yeah.
So, like Sun in the 10th house was supposed to be not a government job or being a judge. A Sun in the 10th house made me realize that I was actually cut out to be a business person, somebody who does their own work. Because 10th house is the karma sthan.
Okay.
When you have Sun in the karma sthan, you're meant to lead. You're not meant to follow. So it's very difficult to work in an organization where you're working under somebody.
Correct.
Similarly, somebody who has Sun in the 4th house, if that person wants to go and do a business, it'll be very difficult because they're already used to serving others. Or
Correct.
somebody who has Sun in Libra.
Yeah.
Sun is depleted there.
Correct.
So when you have depleted Sun, then you're very easy to follow orders and instructions. When you have a very exalted Sun or Sun which is very digbali, as we say, in astrology, very strong positioned Sun, it's very difficult to follow orders.
Correct.
So understand this, that if you understand this basic concept about you, it'll help you take the right choice.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah.
not keep struggling because you think I'm not cut out for this job. Let me try the other job.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm not meant for doing
Correct.
this. Maybe I can start something of my own, maybe a side
Yeah.
hustle or a gig.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like predicting future is a very interesting
Limiting as well.
Do you really want the astrologer to tell you exactly A, B, and C scenario is going to happen with your life?
I think that's the thing. Most people don't know what to ask an astrologer because people go to an astrologer thinking that, hey, this is all that he can tell me. In fact, some people feel like he can see everything, like the astrologer is a mind reader. Okay. Because that's the way it's been positioned, right? The fact that it's very scientific is not told so often. People spend a lot of time asking what will happen when, like
Exactly,
the events.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the questions can be so much more deeper because People don't know the potential of Vedic astrology. They don't know how Vedic astrology answers so many soul level questions for you, which can help you design a happier life for yourself, which can put you on that path to feeling very fulfilled. Because we each have our own unique mission, and I think we all ignore it because of the education system or because of the way that everybody just wants to follow a particular path to
The
success,
conditioning,
the
right?
conditioning. But astrology can actually help you escape that conditioning. In
Astrology can help you design your life.
yeah.
I think that was a beautiful thing that you just said. And I think if one can understand that astrology has a greater purpose
Yeah.
of helping me understand my life, my core potential, my plus points, my minus points, then you are an awakened individual.
Correct.
If you're an awakened individual, then you have the control of how you want to choose to mold your life.
Yeah.
And I feel that in today's day and age, people are not going to be so fascinated by understanding exactly what's going to happen in my future, but they're going to be actually interested in knowing how can I create the future?
How can I attract the
How
future
can I
that I
attract?
want?
Absolutely. And I think that really goes hand in hand. Law of attraction and Vedic astrology, they're all laws, right?
Yeah.
Vedic astrology is a language of planets.
So you told me that law of attraction is actually in the Vedas in
Yeah.
one form or the other.
Yes.
Tell me about that. That was really interesting. Like, how is law of attraction? Because now law of attraction has become such a, I would say it's become a really known concept. It's changed my life. I know it's changed both our lives in
Yes.
some way
Yes.
because the amount of belief and the amount of agency it puts on you as a person to change your future is really outstanding.
Let's look at Mahabharat.
Okay.
And Mahabharat was the setting in which Lord Krishna spoke to Arjun, right? At the war.
Yeah.
The dilemma that Arjun was facing, whether I can wage a war against my ancestors or not.
Yeah.
And Lord Krishna, that's when he went into this discourse, which we all know as the Bhagavad Gita.
Right.
So if you look at the Gita, it says that Lord Krishna said that ultimately we are all energy.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the energy level, we are all one. Yeah,
Mahabharata.
so opened his mouth
Yeah.
and you could see the entire cosmos inside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was trying to say that everything is decided. The cosmos has all the permutation combinations.
Yeah.
But your dharma means what you're meant to do in this life. So as Arjun, his dharma was to wage this war so that the right side can win.
Yeah.
So the dilemma was easily sorted out because Arjun could understand the real greater wisdom. Everything is energy. And we think about it, law of attraction also works on that same principle. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
And when you understand that everything at its core level is energy, then the energy that you are vibrating in really matters a lot.
Correct.
And Vedic astrology that way becomes a tool to help you understand yourself. Because what happens is that, like, we want to hear this fantastic music on, say, 94.3 FM, right? But then we are constantly vibrating at 93.7, which is nothing
Right.
but white noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Vedic astrology tells you that no, moon sign is, say, Singh.
Okay.
So you realize that this is
Right.
what I am as a person.
Right.
And I should not be worrying so much about this thing that I'm going through in life right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you understand that, you're able to realign your vibration, and then it works in accordance with law of attraction. You attract the future.
And it shows the interconnectedness of the
Absolutely.
whole universe, the fact that these planets and us, and the fact that we're all.
Very, very connected. Let me just start with some of the planets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've all heard in Vedic astrology there are 9 planets.
Yeah.
The first one is Sun,
Yeah.
and is considered to be the king of all planets.
Right.
Even in astrology, the analogy used to explain Sun is that of a king.
Yeah.
Sun is very self-centered.
Right.
So he's going to go and achieve that.
Yeah.
So sun rises at a certain point, whether you like it or not. And the movement of the sun is what determines the gravitational pull of all the other planets around it. So that's how sun is. So sun is your own ego, your own self, your own soul level identity.
Okay.
Sun is your pride. So sun determines whether you are going to lead in life or whether you're going to be a follower. Sun decides whether you're going to have a strong personality or you're going to be a weak, and vulnerable person.
Right.
Sun gives the energy to all the other planets.
Correct.
Yeah. Then we go to the next one, which is moon. So sun is your soul, but moon is your mind, your emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Because even if you move out of astrology, the movement of the moon ultimately decides the tides
Yeah.
in the water in the ocean.
Yeah.
And all of us are 70% water ourselves,
Right.
right? So that is all decided by the influence that moon has on our life. The gravitational pull of the water of the planet Earth itself moves because of the moon. Imagine the water which is in our own body.
Yeah.
That's why the mind is governed by moon.
Yeah.
You know the word, interestingly,
Yeah.
which is nothing but a madman,
Yeah.
which is lunar. So
Yeah.
moon and the position of moon is so important. So the
Yeah.
minute you open your kundli, you should see where is my sun, what does it say about my ego and my pride, where is my moon, what does it say about my emotional self,
Correct.
because the moon is how you react to the world.
And your reaction changes everything.
Oh,
And if you
right?
know your tendencies,
Yeah.
then you can change your reaction and thereby
Yes.
change
Yes.
so much more.
Yes.
Like it's like domino effect.
Do you remember, like, one of the main reasons why we started a children's astrology report was so that we could help parents react better to having a child in the house?
Yeah.
Because everybody had these typical reactions of, oh, I'm so exhausted, or this child is so problematic, this child doesn't listen to me at all, father is a very problem child. And we realized that till the time the parent is not able to understand the child as an individual,
Yeah.
when we
Correct.
analyze moon,
Yeah.
that's what we've done in your child's first astro report.
Correct. Correct.
We've gone in depth into the moon, the nakshatra,
Yeah.
what kind of an emotional self the child has.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, the parent is able to understand
Yeah.
how my child is supposed to feel, even before the child says his
Can
first
speak.
word.
Yes.
Right? So the moon is very critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
The third is, after sun and moon, there's Mars.
Right.
So Mars is like Lord Hanumanji. Mars is confidence, it's courage, it's your fearlessness and your bravado. So Mars is like the army general, as they say.
Yeah.
So the army general is very critical because the army general is going to decide whether you're going to win the war. So strengthening Mars or understanding is how Mars is in my kundli is going to give you that fighting power.
Right.
I want to start something new, but I don't have the motivation.
The initiative.
I
Yeah.
always need others to push me. Or I want to start ideas and I'm always gunning for new things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means you have a strong Mars.
Correct.
Yeah. Mars is so critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after Mars comes Mercury. Mercury is such a beautiful planet.
Yeah.
Mercury is in the solar system. Mercury is a very friendly planet, it says, because Mercury is green.
Yeah.
Mercury is your friendliness.
Yeah.
Mercury is also your intelligence.
Right.
So when you look at your kundli, the first thing you should see is sun, which is my identity. Second is moon, what is my emotional self. Third is Mars, which is my courage. Do I have
Yeah.
courage? Do I have the starting power?
Yeah.
Then fourth is Mercury. What do I have a business mind? Do I have a job or a service mind?
Right.
Can I, or am I somebody who struggles with the foggy mind?
Correct.
What kind of thoughts come in your mind is all decided by Mercury.
Okay.
Yeah, what kind of language you'll use, whether in writing or when you're speaking, is decided by Mercury.
Wow.
Like in your case, you have very strongly positioned Mercury. That's why you can speak so well. Mercury is also how you communicate. So understand this, that if you understand these planets, you can figure out so much about you. It's
Yourself.
unbelievable. So after Mercury comes Brihaspati, which is Guru. Guru is Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Jupiter is a yellow planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jupiter is happiness. It's one of the largest planets in the solar
Right.
system.
Right.
And Jupiter really decides the principles and the ethics that you will have in your life. Because Jupiter is Brahman Guru, the Dev Guru, Brahman planet. So Jupiter decides what philosophy you will have in your life. And I think you and I both agree that the philosophy that you have in your life decides the quality of the life that you have.
Correct.
Ultimately.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody who has no philosophy or no ethics will always find the wrong ways of doing things.
Correct.
Yeah, then they can't complain that, oh, why is only wrong things happening in my life?
Correct.
Jupiter also decides whether you're going to be a happy, optimistic person or whether you're going to be depressed. Because lack of Jupiter is equal to lack of happiness. And after Jupiter comes Venus,
Yeah.
Shukracharya,
Yeah.
also called Shukra in Vedic astrology. So Venus is very important. Venus is the ability to enjoy life. Venus is pleasures. When Venus is the luxury and the comforts that you have in life. Imagine having $1 million in your bank or 1 crore of rupees in your bank, but not having the ability to enjoy it, being a miser.
No. Yeah.
That's the person.
Yeah, that's true. You see so many wealthy people and you think, man, they don't have the imagination. They're so whiny,
Depleted
complaining even.
Venus.
Yeah, even when they have the
Yes,
money.
people have a lot of money, but they live like paupers.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you don't have a well placed Venus, you can't enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
So Venus is the ability to really have fun.
Yeah.
And Venus also stands for love in
Okay.
your life. And
Mm.
imagine love is such a
Critical.
critical thing in one's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Today, so many people have this problem that they're not
True.
able to meet somebody who they can
And
trust
it's
and
only
love.
getting harder.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Venus is very cool. It
Hmm.
can tell you about the kind of love that you'll attract in your life,
Right.
what kind of a
Right.
lover you are,
Yeah.
what kind of a marriage you'll have in your life.
Hmm.
And I think we can all agree that marriage is very critical problem that a lot of youngsters are facing today's day and
True.
age.
True.
Yeah,
True.
they're late marriages
Yeah.
or marriages which are not lasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after Venus comes Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Saturn is your karma.
Hmm.
Saturn is a natural lord of the 10th and 11th house.
Hmm.
So 10th house is your karma sthan. So
Hmm.
Saturn is hardworking person.
Right.
Saturn is the common man,
Right.
those who serve you. So Saturn can tell you what kind of people you will employ,
Okay.
what kind of people
Wow.
will be your juniors.
Okay.
Saturn can also tell you what your career is going to be like.
Hmm.
Saturn can tell you if you have the ability to even work hard in your career or not, because a bad Saturn
Hmm.
or a weak Saturn
Hmm.
means you'll be super lazy and complacent in life.
Okay.
You may have a lot of desires, you
Hmm.
may have a lot of potential,
Hmm.
but you don't have any energy.
Hmm.
You feel like I don't want to do it. I'm tired. I don't
Yeah.
wanna. So that's Saturn, which
Hmm.
is badly placed. And a good Saturn is I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So Saturn is your ability to take
Hmm.
action
Hmm.
in that sense. Saturn is also justice,
Hmm.
doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Saturn is a common man's king. You're always the union leader.
Hmm.
That's a Saturn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fighting for the right. And after Saturn is the two shadow planets.
Which I find really interesting.
Really?
Yeah, the whole concept of a shadow planet to start with is. And people are so scared of it also. Like people are super scared of Rahu and they say, oh, Rahu ka dasha chal raha hai. Ya. Like there's a lot of fear attached
Oh,
to
absolutely.
Rahu and Ketu both, I think,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So Rahu and Ketu are the shadow planets.
Yeah.
The intersection between the sun and moon,
Mm-hmm.
where sun and moon intersect. The top half of it, the intersection point is called Rahu, and the bottom intersection point is called Ketu. They're
Yeah.
shadow planets because they're
Yeah.
not actual planets, but
Right.
they're mathematical points in the solar system.
Okay.
But Rahu and Ketu have been given the same importance and status as planets
Okay.
because they're karmic control planets.
Wow.
They control your karma.
Okay.
They're super, super important. So Rahu can tell you what you're obsessed with in life.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
you're super attached with, what you keep thinking about,
Hmm.
depending on where Rahu is placed. Like
Yeah.
say for instance, you have a Rahu placed in your seventh house, you always be thinking about marriage.
Hmm.
Your
Hmm.
Rahu is in the 11th house, you're always thinking about salary or profit.
Hmm.
बिजनेस से कुछ प्रॉफिट क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, मेरे को
Hmm.
सैलरी नहीं मिली, इंक्रीमेंट कब आएगा, मेरे
Hmm.
को पैसे देने थे दिए.
Hmm. Hmm.
You keep on thinking.
You're
Rahu
obsessed with.
obsessed.
Right.
And
Right.
Ketu is the complete opposite.
Okay.
Ketu is the moksha karka.
Okay.
Ketu is,
So detached.
imagine now somebody who has Ketu in their house of work.
Hmm.
That means in his workplace he'll be completely detached. I
Detached.
don't care if I'm getting anything, if I'm not getting anything.
Like that bank, whatever, like a government employee, na, they just shut.
Yeah,
They
they
just shut
just
it for lunch. They just don't care. It's okay. Come back after lunch. And
yeah,
that lunch will
exactly.
go on for like maybe two hours or
Yeah, or
something.
2 days. So the amount of spirituality that you'll have in your life is decided by Ketu.
Mm-hmm.
So Ketu in that sense is also very important because it's not really concerned with the material things of life. Because there is a higher purpose behind our existence. What is the mission that you're born with?
Yeah.
So Ketu gives you this spiritual mission.
But tell me, there's a huge interesting story on Rahu Ketu. There's so much of fear attached with Rahu and how Ketu's this shadow planet.
Mythologically, Rahu and Ketu were actually emanations of one entity.
Okay.
When the Samudra Manthan happened, the gods were distributing Amrit, which
Okay.
was churned from the ocean.
Okay.
The Amrit was being distributed to gods.
Okay. Okay.
There was a demon child actually whose name was Swarbhanu.
Okay.
Swarbhanu was a devilish natured entity.
Hmm.
So he took the guise of a god, of a
Okay.
devta,
Okay.
and he sat between sun and moon so that he would not be identified. And
Okay.
he also wanted the Amrit.
Okay.
and Amrit was the nectar of immortality. So they were able to figure out that what's going on.
Yeah.
So they identified that there's actually a demon sitting amongst us.
Okay.
So they informed Mohini, goddess Mohini, who was the avatar. So they informed Mohini. Mohini was the one who was distributing. So they told her that, look, there's a demon between us. So Mohini, who was actually Vishnu Bhagwan in
Bhagwan.
his guise. So Vishnu Bhagwan got super enraged at this, and with his sud, he immediately cut the throat, the head of that demon entity.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Swar Bhanu's head got cut,
Yeah.
and his body got cut as a result as well. He
Okay.
was, and because by that time Swar Bhanu had taken one drop of the Amrit, so his body had become immortal already.
Oh.
So the head and the body, which was severed, were both alive.
Okay.
It could not be destroyed because of the power of the Amrit.
Amrit. Okay.
So then Vishnu Bhagwan realized that, okay, let me do one thing. So he gave Rahu was the head without a body.
Okay.
So he gave the body of a snake head
Okay.
of the
Okay.
demon. And Ketu was the body of the demon without a head.
What a visual. Okay.
So Rahu and Ketu had very interesting stories, but because the intent was not to do anything bad, the intent
Right.
was, I want to also partake this Amrit. Vishnu Bhagwan gave them the boon that you will be given the same darja or the same status as that of a planet.
Okay.
You know, so Rahu and Ketu, even though they're not actual planets, they're shadowy planets, but they are given the same importance as planets. And Rahu and Ketu are the ones who can actually cause an eclipse. So that's why it's so important to understand Rahu and Ketu. And Rahu and Ketu can tell you so much about your karma, your past life and your future, the karma that you were born with.
Tell us about Rahu. What's the significance of Rahu?
Like I said, Rahu is
The one obsessed.
You know, Rahu will not allow you to think in the present moment,
But why are people so scared of Rahu?
because Rahu can really cloud your mind.
Oh, okay.
Imagine somebody who has just gotten married, but the person is super obsessed with what kind of money he's going to make. So he's not going to be ever present in his family, right? Never going to be giving his all where he's supposed to.
So it's like a obsessive preoccupation,
Absolutely.
which can take you away from the present moment.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
That's why, like, a lot of mental disorders happen because of Rahu. When the Rahu Dasha happens, and it's one of the largest and longest dashas in the Dasha system.
Okay.
So Rahu Dasha means that time people think that your mind is going to be clouded. You're going to be constantly obsessed about things which are beyond your control. You're going to be thinking of really big but not have any. Your feet are not going to be on the ground.
Yeah.
You're going to be in an illusion, Maya.
Oh.
Yeah. So Rahu that way is very powerful, but unfortunately, the stereotype which has been created is that if you have a Rahu Dasha or a Rahu influence, it's going to be only bad.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel that's completely wrong, because Rahu is also the planet which makes things happen magically in your life.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of the right support coming your way, the right opportunity,
Right.
all that is Rahu.
Okay.
Rahu also gives you the ability to think really big. Imagine that ability is so important because that's what
Absolutely.
ultimately makes
Changes life.
So Rahu is very important that way. And Rahu, these are all devtas, right? In a
Yeah.
way, you call it a Rahu Dev, and so. Unfortunately, what has happened is that the word Rahu, Ketu, Shani, they've been almost given the place of being villains. People think that, you know, Rahu ka dasha chal raha hai ya Shani ka prabhav hai, that means it's going to be I'm doomed. But that's not true at all. Because these are called malefic planets in Vedic astrology. And
Okay.
malefic are the negative forces which are going to make you get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
If you don't have a negative
Experience or-
you'll never want to do things different.
You won't change the status quo because everything is comfortable and you're not going to really chase your potential.
That way, it's so important that, for instance, I remember one of the movie stars had said that he was not getting any work anywhere. And ultimately, and this very famous movie star, Amitabh Bachchan, right?
Okay.
At a certain point, he went through bankruptcy, his company, and he was not getting any roles
Correct.
of his desire. Mostly, he was given very sidey roles,
Right.
producers, who
Right.
didn't want to invest any money because they knew he's going to flop.
Correct.
Film career led him to take the opportunity of starting television with
Kaun
KBC.
Banega Crorepati.
It
Yeah,
became a
yeah.
complete turning point.
Oh, yeah.
And they say that time it was a Saturn Dasha which was going on.
Oh, okay.
Saturn, remember I told you the ability to consistently work hard?
Yeah.
So he
yeah.
consistently worked hard.
Yeah.
But the same malefic force of Saturn changed his career
Correct.
completely.
Yeah.
Brought him back to limelight.
Yeah.
And how?
true. That show was nothing without his voice and the way he to the contestants, and it was really amazing. You really watch that for Amitabh Bachchan.
Yes. So much so that after that, even stars like Shah Rukh Khan and all followed in his footsteps.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually, why would such a big Bollywood star want to do a TV show? Like, ultimately, it was a TV show.
What happens is Saturn is also your common people.
Right.
So with that TV show, Amitabh Bachchan was able to connect with the common man every night at 9 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So you see, all the malefic planets are ultimately
The agents of change.
the agents of change. So there is a transformation which gets triggered.
Wow.
If one is scared of these planets, that means your life is going to be the same boring, same
Yeah.
story every day. If you want some excitement,
And you want growth,
And
because
you want
growth comes from there.
see, having these malefics in your life is so important.
Wow. It's like a whole different perspective. If you want to hear more about this and you found this interesting and you thought that this resonated with you, and you're somebody who follows astrology and wants to understand how to empower your life with it, this is the right channel for it. Thank you so much for listening in.